because I was like, damn, dude gonna do me like that. But you know, it was what it was, man. You know, there's humble pie for everybody in the beginning stages, I guess, man.
Lord, I didn't think I was gonna get a Tracy Morgan story, but I'm so glad. Y'all, welcome back to the CVMK Show, because it's your man, it's your boy, Mr. CVMK33 himself, aka It Is What It Is. Look, I'm super excited. First of all, I'm super excited because you're watching, and this is not possible without the fans. You guys, we are about at 15,000 subscribers on YouTube. You're building me, but I want y'all to give me the Shannon Sharp's level. I want y'all to get me there. If he can do it, I know it. No, I'm playing. But I know we can get there. I want y'all to take us there, but it's all based on you. So now I want you to hit that like and share and subscribe button right now. Comment, share with a friend, share with your pastor, share with your baby mama, share with everybody. Just share the thing. And I want y'all to go where the best supplements are. www.cvmkglobal.store. I'm telling you, we're building the new Nike. I have on today somebody that is super interesting, super amazing. My wife ended up meeting him at a networking event. He's like, man, you got to connect with this guy. I'm telling you, you're going to enjoy having him on. And I was just like, all right, babe, my wife tells me, I'm like, all right, babe, let's see who we have. But we have the one, the only Louis Martinez. We're going to learn about him, his story, what makes him him, how did he get to this point. I'm telling you, this is worth watching. This is worth doing. And more importantly, this is worth sharing. After a quick word from our sponsors. Louis, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm doing good. How about yourself?
Man, I'm blessed. It's above 70 degrees in Chicago, so anytime it's not freezing, it's always a blessing for me. I'm super excited about this episode. Super excited about having you on. First of all, thank you.
Yes,
because sometimes you reach out. I'm gonna be honest with you. Reaching out is a hit and miss. You don't know what type of response you're gonna get. Sometimes you get, man, right. yeah, cool. Or you'll get the, I need you to fill out this form. How many tickets are you gonna sell? How many subscribers do you have? And it's like,
it ain't that deep.
It's an honor. Look, when I make it, now I'm speaking out prophetically. When I make it, I'm not gonna be asking you all that. I'm gonna just be like, look, are you crazy or not? I'm not trying to be on a platform and you spewing out, hateful stuff, but if you're not crazy, yeah, I'll go on. I'll share my story. I'll give you 30 minutes to an hour, but you came on and I want to say thank you. So for them that do not know, who is Louis Martinez?
Man, well, first and foremost, thank you for even having me on your platform and even considering. It's always an honor and a privilege to sit down with our own. Sure. And, have these great discussions. But my name is Louis Martinez from the Bronx, New York. I'm an actor, writer, director, and producer. I've been in the film and TV business now for over 20 plus years with a resume that extends as far as Law and Order, Madam Secretary, Bull, Orange is the New Black. I'm in a film with Keanu Reeves called Exposed. I have a few films on Tubi right now. One called Meeting Boone and another one called Nasty by Dennis Reed Productions. And I'm recently now getting into uncharted waters for myself where I've stepped into the writing and directing aspect of film and TV.
First of all, that's a lot. First of all, congratulations. I feel super underaccomplished. He's like, yeah, I got 2 films on Tubi, Tubi, and I got a Netflix special coming out. And I'm like, dang.
Man, you good, bro. You good.
So, it wasn't an overnight thing, right? I'm sure in the journey there were moments. So let's start from the beginning. Mm-hmm. When did you know, like, I'm called to do this? Like, when did somebody was like, Louis, you should be an actor, a writer, producer? Who gave you that oil and affirmed that, like, this is for me?
Man, to be honest, I think I just stumbled upon it. Living in New York City, one of the luxuries and the privileges that we have is that they're constantly filming stuff out here. So, I think I was about 11, 12 years old, and I was coming home one evening. And as I was getting off the train station, long behold, they were filming the movie Dead Presidents in my neighborhood.
Oh,
so I was extremely young, but old enough to know, Lorenz Tate, a Chicago native.
Yeah.
And, of course, meeting him, meeting the Huge Brothers, it was just a lot to process at one time, because here you have this actor that's like the biggest thing because of Menace to Society, The Inkwell, and then I'm meeting the directors of Menace to Society. So for me, it was just getting exposed to what takes place behind the camera, because it was late of '94, and I'm watching them film this movie where they turned my neighborhood into the '60s. So imagine just being out there watching this preparation. I'm watching how the actors go from who they personally are to the actors switch hits, and now they're the character. Everybody's froze, and when they yell action, it's like a live painting just coming to life. And the beauty of that, it was like a spark that says, that's what I want to do with my life. And from that point on, man, it was like I was tugging at Mom Dukes, like, I want to be an actor. I want to be an actor.
Yeah.
Going around the community, whether they had a casting for like a production at the church. I went to a performing arts high schools, joined repertory companies, went to Shaw University on a partial theater scholarship. I studied with Denzel's former coach, may she rest in peace, Tina Satin, out in Mount Vernon. And I've been doing it ever since. That's the nutshell version of it, but that's basically how I got introduced to the world of acting.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So your environment, you walk outside your doorstep, and it's almost like God gives you the vision of, this is going to be your reality.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know it yet, but I'm showing you everything, so when it happens, you won't be shocked.
Right.
And that life experience, I was like, man, I was only 5 when that happened. When you're going through this, right? Like, obviously, at first glance, you have the initial excitement,
mm-hmm.
The inspiration, but I don't know if I've ever heard anybody say, I knew the first thing I needed to do was A, and I knew this was going to lead to B.
Mm-hmm.
I usually always hear somebody say, like, I saw a glimpse of it and I just threw myself into it, and somehow, this path unfolded. So let's go there, right? Let's talk about the path to success.
Right.
Did you feel like you were on the right path, where you were in the throes of it? I mean, like, you were meeting all these cool people, but did you know, like, okay, talk to this person, don't talk to this person, go to this event, don't go to this event, go for this role, don't go for this role? Did you know?
Nah, man, not at all. The interesting thing about, at least for me, because you can ask that question to about 7 actors, and it's subjective. Every actor is different, right? But I know for me, it was very challenging, because a lot of the places that I went to get training or to develop a skill, it took me years and years and years to ultimately find out that having the skill set to do something and then understanding the business side is 2 different things, man. And I think that it's a challenge, because the business side is not something that is readily taught, right? Like, there's no school for this. So a lot of times you might come across interviews where you'll see actors say, yeah, man, you got to learn the business. And they say it as if they're like, like somebody played hooky. And then when you come to school on the day of the test, you're like, see, can I get the answer to number 4? Like, I didn't opt out of class. There's no classroom for this. So anyway, I'm saying all that to say that in this industry, it was basically trial and error. You basically, for me, I had to do it the wrong way in order to find out to do it the right way. Now, in some instances, that's a blessing, because as you maneuver through the business and you become a walking entity, you establish your own signature, right? But the flip side is, certain mistakes could cost you. It could cost you valuable time, or in some instance, it can have you going backwards, or you're like basically a hamster on a hamster wheel. You're going nowhere fast. You know what I'm saying? So I think for me, that pretty much is it in a nutshell. So, like, acting is one thing, but then understanding the business determines how you flow and maneuver and trying to establish success for yourself.
Let's talk about the 2 sides of that coin. Let's talk about the skill set first, and we'll shift to the business. we live in a social media driven world where there's positives to that. There's obvious positives, but the negatives are so layered. And one of the negatives that I think, and I'm hearing, and particularly when I listen to comedians, is, you know, you listen to older cats and they say, you didn't have to come up. You didn't have to play the nightclubs. You didn't have to sleep in the motels. You know, you can do one skit and get 1 million eyes on it and build a brand from your phone. And I'm sure that's leaking into acting as well, right? Like when they're trying to cast for these roles, you know, and they're like, well, we could go with somebody that, you know, has the credentials, has the credits, the film credits, or we can go with this influencer, you know, who is hilarious on TikTok. And you know, I feel like that's a disservice to the craft.
Absolutely.
How important is it to actually be skilled in this arena?
I mean, the skill sets basically gets you in the door, and it allows you to be fluid. It allows you to adapt and be, I would say, ready when they're called. You know, can you do the job? And it establishes respect. I have some great relationships with some casting directors that they know that when Louis comes in the room, I'm coming to work. I'm not there to BS around. But then I think it's also depending on who you're talking to, because there are more people when you're dealing with the investors, the people who are putting up the money. All they really care about is, where's my return of investment? So the actors coming in from the standpoint of the craft most of the time. And then you also have to learn how to be balanced enough to understand that there's still a business side to this, because at the end of the day, there are people that are only in it just to make money. I hope that answers your question.
No, that does. I want to shift to that business side, because I want to hear. I feel like this is where it's going to get goes up a lot. All right, after this break, we're going to go into the business side. So I want to know the truth. I want to know, you know, what is this business? What is this Hollywood? What does this word even mean? After a quick word from our sponsors.
There's a hero in all of us waiting to be unleashed. All it takes is just that one last push. Activate the hero within with CVMK Global Supplements. All natural, steroid-free, designed to enhance performance, build muscle, and increase energy. You are unstoppable. You can do this. Become your own hero at www.cvmkglobal.store.
Y'all, I got with me Samson. We dropped this product last Friday. Men, I'm aging, so I had to create something for us men. We're trying to get our T levels up. You need all the help you can get. Samson is a game changer, just like the person in the Bible. This is gonna make the Delilah experience worth it. Now, hey, y'all, go at www.cvmkglobal.store. I'm telling you, it's worth it. As the co-founder of this organization, we put a lot of effort in creating safe products for everybody, but specifically too for our communities. www.cvmkglobal.store. All right, Louis. So the business, the business of entertainment, the business of Hollywood. I'm watching a lot. I'm just, you know, I try to keep my nose to the ground, and when you start, you know, hearing about all this stuff and, you know, contract disputes and the ugliness of it all, there's this business, like, you don't understand the business. Tank said something on the R&B Money podcast. He said, even if you come to Hollywood as a child actor or actress, you're not a child. It's an adult business. You just happen to be a child. Right. And I couldn't understand. Like, I understood what he was saying, but I couldn't fathom it because I'm not part of that. You know, I'm not part of that world. What is this business that people are talking about? Like, how entrenched, how layered, how focused do you need to be?
Man, I mean, your level of focus, I think it's really just a matter of understanding early, okay, where do you want to go? See, because the premature mindset is usually, I want to be famous, you know, and that was my mindset at a very, very young age. But then when you start as you grow into this business, you start understanding statistics. the amount of statistics that are truly successful. And when I say success, meaning that are able to make a living off of this, people that are able to basically broaden their horizons and create brands that when they're walking, they are a walking entity. And that's the part that's usually left out. And then also understanding the mechanics of what they're even looking for, right? So I'll give you an example. This was one of my biggest heartaches and pains coming up in the business because I really didn't understand the science of casting, right? So you can go into an audition and do a wonderful job, but if you don't understand the mechanics that takes place behind the camera, if you don't get the job, some people usually build up insecurities. So like for me, I didn't get a role. I start questioning myself like, damn, am I not good enough? Am I not cut for the business? Is it my acting not good? And a lot of times the casting could usually be more about the cosmetics of a thing. You might have been too short. You might have been too tall. You might have upstaged the lead. In terms of camera chemistry, there's a whole lot of things that take place. And so when you start to understand those mechanics, you approach your auditions differently. When it comes to understanding what investors are looking for, you approach that a little differently. And then you start to understand that in this business, there are a lot of ups and downs. And for the average actor, we experience more downs than up, because this industry is fickle. It's rolling 1 minute and the next day it could just get dry. I think I saw an interview with Lorenz Tate, I think on the Breakfast Club, and he referred to actors as journeymen. And that's exactly what we are. The minute they yell cut, you're unemployed. Now it's time for the next job. So you have to really learn how to be a jack of all trades. I would always tell actors, learn or try to learn what it's like to be a director, what it's like to be a writer, what it's like to be a producer, because you want to wear as many hats as possible. Not only does that help you sharpen your skill as an actor, because now you learn how to be fluid and knowing when to approach something as an actor, but also business, and when you can just be specifically on the creative part, because now you know how to speak the different languages. Now you think like a director. Now you think like the investor. Now you think like the producer. And that all helps you to navigate to be a better entity for yourself as you're building your brand and establishing relationships in this industry.
How did you stay encouraged? You brought up the example with Lorenz Tate. I mean, like, even when you hit home runs, you'll strike out. Great hitters have low on base percentages. How many, like you said, how many roles you didn't get versus the run roll that you did get. Staying consistent, staying motivated. Like, how do you do that? Like when you do and you go out for something that doesn't quite go as planned, and you're like, man, I still need to execute. I still need to produce this. What drives you?
Oh man, I mean, I think for me it's just really knowing what your why is, and really remembering why you first did it in the first place. For me, I'm sure athletes could relate to this, entertainers could relate to this. For me, one of the things that I miss, man, was just being able to perform and being so in depth in your performance that you even forget that there's an audience watching. There's a level of focusedness that certain artists or entertainers hit, that when they're in that zone, it's like nothing else exists but just what it is that you love to do. I think for me, that's just artistic integrity, that I'm really about the art and the craft, because at one point I was about the money. And I learned that while I'm chasing the money, I'm getting further away from what I wanted to do. But the better you are at what you do, the money comes looking for you. Now, that doesn't mean that, don't be about your dollars, don't be about your business. But for the most part, you have to love this business. Because like I said, actors in this field, man, we experience more downs than up. The constant rejections, the constant, you on the phone with somebody, you think this role is about to come through, and then at the last minute, they might snatch it up under your feet. You might see things in his business that can just, leave a distaste in your mouth. I remember one day I went out for a role. My agent was in the process of putting the deal together. I landed the role. And then next thing you know, they took the role away from me because of my last name. My last name is Martinez. I went out for an African-American role, and they told me because of my last name, I couldn't play that part. And it's little things like that. And so I think who you hang around, your circle of influence, the people that kind of just always keep you in that spirit of remember why you did this. All of those things play a factor.
Man, they wouldn't like my last name is Kelly. I wouldn't get any black roles. They'd be like, I don't know. I mean, he got them. I don't know.
Right, we got to toss the coin in the air.
Light-skinned cast characters.
Right.
All right, so the culture. You hit upon it. I don't know. Culture's everything, but I don't know what that specifically is. And I'm sure it affects the business. If last names can influence deals that are already done, what else is influencing these deals, right? Like I had Murphy Lee's manager. He was on my podcast 2 episodes ago. We were talking about, talking about Murphy Lee, talking about Nelly and them, and kind of the rise to, the celebrity and whatnot. And so I asked him, I said, with everything that's going on with everybody, I won't name names, is Hollywood a safe place? And he looks at me and says, has Hollywood ever been a safe place? And I was like, that's fair, right? That's definitely fair. Louis, I'm asking you, is Hollywood a safe place, or is it just, it is what it is?
Yeah, I think anywhere could be a place where it's not safe. It's just a matter of how safe do you make it for yourself, right? Mm-hmm. So for me, I try to roll with as much integrity and principles and try to make sure that my morals and ethics is in place. So if you're one of these people that you can go into an environment and you are easily influenced, or you don't stand for anything, then yeah, you can become a victim of whatever unsafe environments look like. I remember speaking to some folks in the business, and I think even Denzel was even quoted saying this, that if you go to an industry party, you're there for like the first 30 minutes, and the first 30 minutes is usually you just mingling, networking, getting phone numbers and things of that sort, and then anything after 30 minutes is nothing good. So I think it's just a matter in terms of just having boundaries for yourself, knowing what you want to do, and not getting caught up in the environment, because it's very easy to get caught up. A few friends of mine, they have gone to Hollywood, and they're definitely not the same people that they were before they went out there. But I could say the same thing about people in the music industry. I can say same thing about people who work in the banking institution and so forth. Yeah. So.
And that's in every arena. Look, even in faith, even in the pulpit, you can be on the righteous path, and then the excitement can get to you. The influence can destroy you if you're not careful. Correct. Because you're a human being on a perfect purpose, not being perfect. Right? And that's almost contradictory, but it's one of those things that you really have to manage, right? So I want to shift to you got the projects out. You talked about the films you have on Tubi. I want to shift there, because I think that's an arena that as people of color, as Black people, we have to own the content, right? I gotta go to my sponsor, but after this, I want to talk about what does ownership, what does real content creation look like, after a quick word from the sponsor.
Okay. I literally just tried the best pre-workout on the planet. With Superpower pre-workout, you have increased focus and a power boost every single time you work out. It's not only packed with 225 milligrams of caffeine, but it also has citrulline and creatine. It's insane how much energy and focus I had during my workouts. If you're ready to take your workouts to the next level, then ditch your current pre-workout and get the Superpower pre-workout to be your own hero.
Yo, I got it with me. Superpower. Look, I want y'all to get it. That's an amazing pre-workout. I use that, or I use Warrior Thirst. It's from the CVMK brand. This is what we do. I'm telling y'all, you're gonna love it. You're gonna love it. If you like this other stuff, no diss to Zoa and these other people, but they not bored of culture. No, let me stop that. I don't want any smoke for them. But look, www.cvmkglobal.store. Matter of fact, use code when you check out, discount code CVMK for 20% off. All right, so content creation is owning our own stuff, right? Not just being the talent, but being the one that, you know, writes the checks, that does this. How does that work, right? Like you create you write the film and you pitch it. Like, I guess, I don't know. And then it gets, you know, goes through committee and the project is green lighted, and then you start doing all the work that it takes to get this thing out. Walk us through that, because that seems like a lot. You know, to have films on a platform doesn't seem like you just woke up one day and was like, hey, I'm gonna just do a movie.
Right. Nah, man, it is a lot, and I'm just now recently getting into that space as a content creator. You know, I just released a concept trailer to another installment to the Rocky franchise, and it's called The South Side Slugger. So we kind of circled it around Mr. T's character, Clubber Lang. We have his biological daughter involved, Erica Nicole Clark. We also have Fubu that came on board, and you know, the reason for doing that is because I've tried relentlessly to knock on doors, you know, studio doors, and they won't pay no attention. So I'm just now recently getting into that space. From how I understand it with the content creation, of course, you create your own brand, you know, your own script, right, and you have to find financing. So that requires you to start networking with people, unless you're going to raise your own money to shoot your own project. Once you shoot your own project, now you're looking for distribution. Okay, and that distribution can go two ways. You're either looking for a licensing deal, right? Meaning that a licensing deal, meaning that if they like your project, they can put it on several platforms, whether it's Tubi, Netflix, Hulu, Apple, and then of course quarterly, you will get a fraction of some money based off whatever percentages were negotiated in your contract. Now, if you do the acquisition is basically me offering you a certain amount of money for your project that I would ultimately make back. So let's just say, for example, you created a film, it's a feature length, and I buy it off you. We negotiate. I might offer you 50,000, 80,000, but it cost you, you know, 25,000 to make. Well, you made your money back, and then you made a profit. And then when that person acquires the project, then they can do whatever they want with the project. And that's the difference between licensing and acquisitions. Hope that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. That's a lot of work. Just looking up. I'm like,
let me add this. Let me add this in here for you guys. This is the interesting part, right? There are a lot of people that have. Listen, Cody, if I were to tell you the amount of great ideas that are out there in films that have already completed, they cannot get picked up, because what the industry does, they have a sheet, right, where they're looking for specific films. So, for example, right now, they're looking for horror films because they're getting ready for the fall and when Halloween comes in. So you can have a movie right now with some A-listers, and it's a love story, but the love story is not in demand by these other networks. So let's say Netflix, Hulu, Amazon might say, hey, right now we're looking for a movie about war veterans, right? So then they'll be on the hunt looking to see who has shot a movie like that or who's in the process of shooting it. They can get picked up. But you might have a movie about a wrestler who's strung out on drugs and the story is phenomenal. They'll bypass it because that's not what's in demand at the moment. So it's kind of like the record labels, how they used to do back in the days when they had certain artists that had a particular brand of, like, you know, whether it was Murder Inc. at the time or 50 Cent, you know, when the music was more gangster, you might come out with something a little bit more colorful, a little bit more family orientated. And it's like, now we got to put them on a shelf because right now this is the current theme that's running the industry right now. That's the same way it is in Hollywood, bro.
Trends. How come we haven't? And first of all, I know you're running out of time. I'm gonna get you out of here.
No, you good. You got here.
How come we haven't created like we're the talent, right? Like, how come we don't have one platform, the Netflix / Instagram of, you know, our stuff, you know, that we can say, hey, look, if it's nice, it's nice. You know, we don't follow trends, we follow truth. Like, how come we don't have that?
Man, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know if I necessarily have the answer for that. I know that we have the money. You know, I know the money's out there. You know, when we look at the amount of dollars that get spent in our community how much the dollar circulates in our hands until it ends up in somebody else's community. The money's there. I mean, that could be a number of things. It could be ego clashes. It could be, it could be so many different things that will basically get us apart from really doing what we could do, which is basically being self-sufficient. Right. And that's something that I've always been pro. I've always been pro. Let's do our own thing. Let's create our own entity. Let's create our own side of the fence where we're not so dependent on what they want and what they want us to do. But it takes a village, man, and it's quite a bit of an uphill challenge because a lot of it depends on capital. It depends on the creativity, where we're trying to go. But I think it's just a matter of really coming to the table with some of these big dogs that got it, But sometimes that's just me freestyling off the top of my head because I ask that question a lot. Like we talk about wanting to do our own and needing our own, but then when it's time to actually execute, for some reason we just don't get to that place yet for whatever reason.
It is what it is. Like I got one more question. I'm gonna cut to a break, but I want to ask you: best person you worked for, worst person you work for, and why? I want to hear the story because I love a little bit of mess. So after this is what it is after a quick word for our sponsors. Unfortunately, every day is not a day of spring. Life is filled with toxic temptations designed to entice you, to destroy you, to manipulate you, to poison you, to harm you, to cancel you, and to make you sick. And at CVMK, we've designed supplements so that you can fight back. You can be who you were destined to be. You can unleash the hero within with our signature supplement line. Go to www.cvmkglobal.store. Y'all, www.cvmkglobal.store. I'm telling you, you don't want to miss the vibe. www.cvmkglobal.store. All right, so best person that you worked with, like this was an amazing experience, and then the worst person, but you got to tell the full story.
Oh man. So I'll give you two on the good side. So I had two. One was with Keanu Reeves. Very down to earth individual, man. Of course, I'm on set, we working together, and it's like, damn, this is the Matrix, man. Yeah. So very social, very low key. He'll laugh with you, joke with you, but when it's time to go to work, it's time to go to work. You know what I'm saying? So that was just a good, pleasant moment, knowing that this is the man I grew up watching on Bill and Ted Excellent Adventure to the project that we were working on. The second person that I would say that was great to work around was John Leguizamo. He and we did a movie called 1155 Holyoke, which was a great film where he played this war vet. And what was so interesting about working with him was to watch his process as an actor. So he got his script the day of, and so while he's in chair and makeup, getting the stuff together, I saw him and heard him loud as hell going over his lines, and everybody was just like stuck, kind of looking at him like he was crazy. But he was so immersed in the process, he ended up memorizing like, I would say like 2-3 pages worth of dialogue within like 20 minutes, but he just lost himself in that process. Now, I had a friend of mine that told me, be careful when you get on set with him because he goes from 0 to 60 like this. He'll run circles around the actors. So we had a scene, and he was off camera. The camera was on me, and I'm supposed to be responding to him. And I got so lost in his performance that they had to yell cut. They was like, yo, you all right? Because I was in a trance because I'm just watching this guy go, and I forgot that I was actually in a scene with him. So that was like a good, pleasant moment just to kind of watch how the pros and how the vets do it. A negative experience that I would say, I don't want to name the person, bro, but I'll give you the scenario if that's okay. Or do you really want the name?
Nah, you can just give the scenario.
So it was a comedian, man. This comedian, was quite the character, man. And we wasn't even on set. I actually ran into him in public. And I kind of just reached out to him on some network and stuff. And the dude just, I'm like, I'm an actor. I'm trying to do X, Y, and Z. And, I'm looking to network. Why? What's up? You think you better than me? So I'm like, what? So me and my homeboy, we look at each other. We're like, okay, we know he's a comedian. So we're waiting for the moment. I'm like, okay, maybe he's joking around. Right. Dude just caught a crazy attitude with me. And it was all of these folks asking for autographs and photos. He said some things that I don't even want to repeat on here. But I kind of hit him with the I appreciate that, my brother, in front of who was around a bunch of white folks. You know what I'm saying? So I guess he took offense to that. So as I was walking away, he called me, was like, hey, yo, and rolled his sleeve up to flash his jewelry. He was like, yeah, peace, my brother. In other words, you broke. I was like, whoa, dude, just played me, bro. You know what?
Drop his name right now.
I'm gonna give you the name because it happened. I'm gonna give you the name because I ain't making this up. It was Tracy Morgan, bro.
Are you serious?
Tracy Morgan, bro.
Tracy, dog, what you on? You just got,
bro.
You got a miracle. You got almost destroyed by Walmart. What you doing?
Bro, listen, this was before that situation at that, but he was going into the comedy club. It was called the there was a comedy club that was across the street from 42nd by like the Port Authority in New York. And he was heading up in there. He came up with one of his fancy cars with the door swinging up. Some lady he was with came out, this beautiful sister. And it was all these white folks signing he was signing their autographs. I'm like, yo, can I holler at you? He's like, yeah, talk to me right here. What's up? And I'm like, yeah, I'm up and coming actor or whatever. I just want to network and it ain't about networking. It ain't about this. I'm like, the hell's he talking about? As I furthered the conversation, he was like, wow, what's up? You think you better than me? And then I heard the young brother that recently came out. I forgot brother's name, that one of the actors that he said that when he was 7 years old, he kind of messed with him psychologically, did some things on set that just kind of like, killed his self-esteem and his confidence. And although I wasn't there for that alleged situation, based off mine, it seems believable because I was like, damn, dude gonna do me like that. But, it was what it was, man. There's humble pie for everybody in the beginning stages, I guess, man.
Lord, I didn't think I was gonna get a Tracy Morgan story, but I'm so glad. All right, Louis, I know you're working on a bunch. I gotta get you out of here. Tell the people what you're doing. You shifted roles, like you're saying. You're really have evolved into the business side of it all. Tell them what you're doing, what you're working on, how the people can connect with you, and where they can support you.
Yeah, man. Y'all want to connect, man? Come see me on Instagram. I'm at Louis, LOUIS _the actor. Right now, in terms of what I got going on, the last two and a half years of my life has been dedicated to this concept trailer because I thought of this idea to create another installment to the Rocky universe focused on Clubber Lang. We have the trailer up right now on YouTube. It's The South Side Slugger. Hit the like button, drop a comment, and share it with as many people as possible. So right now, the stress from that project, because it was very stressful, I didn't gain so much weight. So right now, I got to get back in the gym, trim down, bring sexy back, you know what I'm saying? And get ready for the fall, for pilot season and stuff like that.
Y'all, connect with them on the gram. Watch the trailer, The Southside Slugger. Hit them up. Support the brother, y'all. You know what you do. If you want to keep seeing leaders like we have on a day, YouTube, one word, 4 letters, CVMK. I need you to like, share, subscribe. Also on social media, CVMK _global. It is what it is _show, CVMK 33, TikTok, CVMK Glow, fan base. Y'all, fan base, I keep telling y'all, it's going to become the new Instagram. Black content, black media creator platform. Fan base is growing. Y'all want to go there, CVMK Global. It goes down at the best supplement website because we are trying to build a new Nike. I want y'all to go there today. Use code CVMK for 20% off at www.cvmkglobal.store. And until next time, guys, thanks.
If you think exercise alone got me looking like this, well, think again. CVMK Global Super Thick got me right. I'm obsessed, and yeah, I won't stop talking about it because it helped me grow in all the right places. Its creatine provides a fast and reliable way to increase your power, size, and shape, and it's scientifically proven to help you reach your physical goals in a safe, controlled manner. So if you want to increase muscle size, pump, and thickness in your muscle groups, you need Super Thick.